Have you ever seen somebody walk into a room and you immediately notice that they catch the attention of your eyes and everybody else's eyes? And at first glance, you might think it has something to do with how they look. It could be that they seem effortlessly put together. It could be that they carry themselves with a polished confidence. Well, the truth is that doesn't have anything to do with their appearance at all. It's about the energy they radiate, about the frequency on which they operate. You can see it in the way they move, you can hear it in the way they speak. It's not just about presence, it's about depth. Because what's happening on the inside is just as powerful as what's happening on the outside. Because this is someone who stepped into the higher version of themselves. And the reason I say higher and not highest is because I don't ever believe that we can truly be the highest version of ourselves. There's always going to be more. So for many of us, this higher version of ourselves is just some kind of distant fantasy, something that exists for other people, but not for us. We watch from the outside and we admire those who move at that higher frequency, and we tell ourselves we want that too, but there's a voice whispering inside our head saying that will never be you. And the real truth is that it's not that you don't believe you can become that person, but you're terrified of the work that it takes in order to get there. Because stepping into your higher self means confronting all the versions of you that you've buried away. All the wounds that were left unhealed and the demons that you pretend do not exist. In order to rise to your higher self, you first have to wade through the depths of your lowest. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Lola, your host, and whether you're new here or you're catching up from our previous conversation, I hope today's episode leaves you just a little bit better than when you came in. Whether that's a new thought, a little bit of inspiration, or a shift in perspective. Whatever it is, I'm excited to be here and be present in this moment with you. There comes a time, sometimes in the quiet, sometimes in the chaos, where you realize that the life you're living and the life you want to live are miles apart. You see glimpses of the person that you're supposed to be. The one who speaks with certainty, the one who walks into a room and doesn't shrink, and who chooses herself instead of waiting to be chosen. And you think, I want to be her. But here's the thing that most people don't talk about. The path to becoming your higher self isn't about journaling and manifestation and vision boards. It's about war. Not war with the world, not war with anybody that's doubted you, but war with yourself. War with the version of you that clings to the past and is terrified to let go. Because in order to become her, you have to face you. The you that was abandoned. The you that was unloved. The you that was told she wasn't enough. And the you that still believes you aren't. And that's why this journey feels impossible. Not because you're not capable, but because in order to step into your higher self, you have to walk through every version of you that wasn't ready. You have to sit with the parts of you that you've tried to ignore. Your insecurity, the self-doubt, the fear, and even more than that, you have to start understanding yourself. Because you can't fix what you can't recognize. I spent so much of my life feeling like I was made for more. Like my brain just worked differently. I saw the world through a lens that most people didn't. I knew the wisdom and the potential that I held at a young age, and yet I still felt stuck. Like I was living a life beneath the one I was meant for. Like my higher self was out there waiting for me and I had no idea how to reach her. For years, I tried to force myself into systems that weren't built for me. I beat myself up for struggling with the things that people did so easily. I thought maybe I wasn't disciplined. Maybe I just need to try harder. It wasn't until I started understanding myself and really seeing myself that everything shifted. When I realized I had ADHD, I stopped calling myself lazy. And instead, I worked with my brain instead of forcing it to try and function like everybody else's. When I started unpacking the way I was raised, I started to figure out what my triggers were and why they were triggering me. When I learned to step outside of myself in moments of emotional intensity, I was able to stop spiraling and finally recognizing when I was pulling away, either from people or from opportunities, not because I didn't want them, but because I was afraid. And when you can see yourself so clearly, you can finally start to heal. You have to become so deeply self-aware that you call yourself out before the world calls you out. You have to get to know you, what sets you off, what makes you spiral, and what patterns keep playing on a loop in your life. You have to start noticing when you're reacting from wounds instead of wisdom. Are you pushing people away because you truly want space or because you think they're going to leave you first? Are you giving up opportunities because they're not right for you or because you're afraid to fail? Are you shutting down in conversations because you truly do not have anything to say, or that you've been shut down all your life that it's easier not to say anything? This is the work and it's uncomfortable. It forces you to sit with truths that you would rather avoid. But until you do, you will continue making the same choices and falling into these same cycles. And this is why most people never become their higher selves. You're afraid of seeing yourself fully, and you're afraid of letting go of the version of you that's been in survival mode for so long. You're afraid of changing because what if that means losing people? But the higher version of you, she understands that the path to peace comes from knowing yourself and not running away. She knows that triggers are just wounds that need to be healed. She knows that stepping into your higher self doesn't mean leaving who you are behind. She knows that becoming her higher self isn't about becoming somebody else, but stepping into the person that she's always been. So when it feels fake, when it feels like you're pretending, keep going. When discomfort sinks in and fear tells you to shrink, keep going. Because one day, without even realizing it, you'll wake up and see that you're no longer reaching for her because you are her and you always have been. I want to do a visualization with you, and you can close your eyes or you can keep them open, whatever's more comfortable for you. I want you to imagine yourself in a public setting. It could be the park, the library, the mall. It doesn't matter where it is. And in walks your higher self. I want you to pause for a moment and just really take them in. What do they look like? What are they wearing? What energy are they exuding? Are they alone? Is someone else with them? Do they look healthy? Do they look happy? Now picture yourself walking up to them. You start a conversation and you listen closely. What is their tonality? How do they speak? What are the topics that they focus on? And then ask them the question that matters most. How did you become this version of yourself? What do they say? Now open your eyes if you have them closed. And because this is so important, I want you to grab your phone or a piece of paper, and I want you to write down everything that you observed. What did they say? What did they look like? How did they make you feel? Pause this video for a second, write all of these things down. I will be here when you get back. Now, some of you that have tuned into the podcast might be sitting here and listening and thinking to yourself, wow, she really has a way with words. I've also had the same thought. I said I would be vulnerable throughout this podcast. So what you should know is that ChatGPT has had a huge role in how my messages come together. Does that make me inauthentic? Does it mean I'm using a voice that's not mine? Well, using it doesn't make the words any less mine. The thoughts, the messages, the meaning behind them, that is all me. Using it may be able to make the words land a little bit better, and it could never replace my perspective. It's about alignment. My higher self, the version of me that I see, she speaks with intention and clarity. She chooses her words wisely. She enunciates. She tells stories that stick. She carries herself with a kind of quiet confidence that makes people lean in and listen. That is the higher version of me. So when I sit down to record and let these words flow, I'm not faking it. I'm stepping into the version of me that already exists. I'm not becoming my higher self, because the moment I show up as her, I am her. When you meet me in person, I might not be the same version of me that you see on the screen. My words may not land with the same weight. My confidence might be a little different. It might be a little softer, a little less certain. I may not carry myself the way you imagined, but trust this, when you meet her, the version of me that will exist, the version of me that does exist, she will be exactly who you expect her to be. Throughout the makings of this podcast, I've already noticed significant changes in the way I speak, in my choice of words, the way my message flows together, how I pay attention to how I'm enunciating, because I now feel more confident in the way I'm able to communicate. I'm able to now listen intently instead of listening to respond. And I would argue that if I weren't showing up the way I'm showing up right now, I would be fake. I would be lying to myself and lying to you. Because if your standards are here and your goals are here, you are lying to yourself about the standards that you need to keep in order to achieve a goal that you really want. So when you show up embodying a higher version of yourself, it may not feel like you're being you. It will feel fake. It will feel uncomfortable, like you're playing a role that just doesn't quite fit. And keep showing up anyways. Keep choosing her. Keep committing to her. Even when that voice inside your head tells you it feels unnatural, when it tells you that you're not there yet. Because one day, without even realizing it, you'll feel like you're no longer pretending. Because you'll look up one day and realize that the version of you that felt so out of reach isn't just someone you're trying to be anymore. It's who you've become. It's who you are. Becoming your higher self isn't just about what you do. It's the words that you speak to yourself and the words that you put out in the world. The words you choose shape the reality that you live in, whether you realize it or not. Think about it. You say, I can't do it. And immediately your brain shuts off, not even bothering to look for a solution. And the moment you shift that to how can I do it, something changes. Your mind starts searching for answers, and suddenly a door that was once locked now has a key. This works the same way for the word but. We often don't realize how much we cancel ourselves out by using this word. I made a mistake, but I'm trying to do better. That tiny word but almost makes the mistake disappear. Like it doesn't matter. It sounds like an excuse. Now say, I made a mistake and I'm trying to do better. Do you feel the difference in that? That sentence holds space for both truths and allows you to take ownership and actually commit to improving. There are no excuses, just growth. Or take this, I want to grow, but I'm scared of change. That version makes it seem like one can't exist without the other. You have to stop being afraid before you can move forward. And what if you said, I want to grow and I'm afraid of change? This allows both to coexist. It allows you to acknowledge the fear and it allows you to grow anyway. Now imagine this, you wake up, you glance at your alarm clock, you take your first sip of coffee, and then you already feel like the time is slipping away. The to-do list is endless, you have work, laundry, family obligations, responsibilities, and you can just hear the clock ticking away telling you you don't have enough hours. And so almost instinctively, when something comes up, you say, I don't have the time. So what if you flipped the script? What if instead of saying, I don't have time, you said, it's not a priority? Sit with that for a moment. I want to lose weight and it's not a priority. I want to spend more time taking care of myself and it's not a priority. That hits a little differently, doesn't it? And suddenly it's not about time at all. It's about choice and about what you allow to take up space in your life. Because here's the truth. We all make time for something. So are you making time for what actually matters to you? Or are you just filling up the space with whatever's easiest, most familiar, or because it's already part of your routine? What if instead of feeling like time is slipping away, you control where it goes? What if you started asking yourself, is this truly a priority? And if the answer is no, what is stopping you from letting it go? Words aren't just words, they shape your reality. And so once you start to change the words, you can start to change your life. I want to share something with you for a second. I asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you hinder me from my success? Here's what it said. I'd make you doubt yourself constantly. I'd whisper lies like you're not good enough. No one really cares. Who are you to think you can do this? Because self-doubt is poison disguised as protection. I'd distract you with nonsense. TikTok scroll holes, Netflix marathons, overthinking your outfit instead of actually getting things done. I'd keep you busy, but never productive. I'd isolate you. I'd make you believe no one understands you or convince you you should just do this alone. Because I disconnected you as I defeated you, but connected you, unstoppable. I'd convince you to play small. You don't want to be too much. Stay humble, don't be too loud. I'd make you second guess your value, undercharge for your brilliance, and shrink yourself to fit in. I'd keep you in your feelings. I'd have you stuck in past pain, triggered, replaying old stories on repeat, drowning in the weight of things you should have let go. Because when you're consumed by your past, you forget how powerful you are right now. I'd make you wait. Wait for the perfect timing. Wait for more confidence. Wait until you feel like it. Because waiting keeps dreams on pause while life moves on without you. I'd make you numb your power. I'd push you into burnout, poor eating habits, skipping self-care, forgetting your spiritual grounding, because a distracted mind forgets her mission. And when I read this, it hits me like a ton of bricks. I didn't need the devil to do this for me because I was doing it to myself. The self-doubt, that was me. The distractions, that was also me. The isolation, the playing small, the waiting for the perfect moment, all me. That realization, that was brutal. Because if I was the one that was holding myself back, I am also the one that can set myself free. Now, on the journey to becoming your higher self, there's one more key component. It is the relationships that you keep. I used to be the girl that felt like I didn't need anybody. I used to be so hyper independent because everyone I let in my life let me down. And so as a defense mechanism, I decided not to let anybody in anymore because why hurt myself and set myself up for that disappointment? And it wasn't until I met the right people that I thought, man, was I naive. There are 3 types of people in this world. You're one of them. The question is, which one of them are you? Somebody that is C talent is somebody that may want more for themselves and they take no action to get there, or they may be somebody that's content with where they are. They have no desire to level up in life. They usually are blaming their circumstances instead of taking responsibility. They believe that success is something that happens to people and not something that people create. And deep down, they've really just settled. Someone who is B talent is someone who is smart, skilled, and successful, just not to their highest potential. They're good at what they do, and they don't push themselves to be greater. They make some sacrifices and some excuses, never really enough of either to really tip the scales. They live in the in-between where comfort and ambition are constantly fighting for control. And many people that are B talent tend to stay here forever because they're uncomfortable with having to admit that they've been playing it small. Now, A talent, they move differently. They take extreme ownership of their success and their failure. They see problems as obstacles to solve, not a reason to quit. They crave discomfort because they know that's where they grow and they thrive. They don't waste time blaming or complaining or waiting, they execute. And so here's the reality about these three different types of people. A talent will rarely entertain excuses. They don't have time for people who drag their feet. They surround themselves with other high-level A talent or B talent that's willing to push themselves further. B talent can go either one way or the other. They can want to level up. They can want to grow and learn in order to become A talent. Or they can become complacent and comfortable. They admire A talent and they fear them because being around A talent means confronting their own limitations. C talent avoids ambition. They stick with people that are not going to challenge them, who validate their complacency, who tell them that staying the same is just fine. Your relationships dictate how big or small you live your life. So who are you choosing to surround yourself with? Are they pushing you forward or are they holding you back? And the real question is, who do you want to be? Now, I hope that your higher version is A talent. So if we think about it logically, you would want to surround yourself with A talent. And we know that until you show up as your better selves, A talent will not want to be in your world with you. And what I want you to realize is that relationships will take you places that money cannot. They can give you opportunities that money cannot. They can put you in rooms with people that money cannot. A-talent people are the game changers, the ones who refuse to settle, the ones who push past themselves and their limits, and they know that they cannot do it alone. Even the most successful people did not do it on their own. Oprah Winfrey had Maya Angelou. Serena Williams had her coaches pushing her, her competitors forcing her to improve. She had her dad who trained her relentlessly. Beyonce had vocal coaches, choreographers, business managers, branding experts to level up every aspect of her career. None of these people did it alone. They had mentors, collaborators, supporters, and high-level thinkers in their world. They invested in their growth, they didn't make excuses, and they made strategic moves. I hope our time together today has left you with at least one thought to carry with you as you go back to your everyday life. Thank you so much for allowing me to become a part of your journey.